Hello again, YouTube. It's Skylar. Welcome back to my face. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over how I do my makeup as a trans woman. So over the years, I've had a lot of people approach me both online and in person to tell me how awesome my makeup is, and they wish that they knew how they might be able to do so as well. So in today's video, I'm just going to kind of go down and break down everything that I kind of do. Now, before we get into it, anytime that I mention any type of product in this video, it's not an endorsement or sponsorship. I'm just a fan explaining how I use the product myself for my own use. So, with that out of the way, one of the first things that I usually do before I apply any makeup is I use hyaluronic acid. And it's just something that helps moisturize your skin and retain that moisture to keep it from drying out. I don't use it all the time because I have pretty oily skin as it is, but it really does help after when those days where it's really dry and you just want to give it that refreshing feeling. Typically what I do after that is I use a foundation. I've been using lots of different ones. I kind of go back and forth. One of my favorite ones was Urban Decay, but I can't use that one right now because it's so expensive. I've been using the e.l.f. and the Maybelline brand. Those ones are a lot more affordable for me right now, and they pretty much do the same job. And also I use eyelash curler. This really helps keep your eyelashes, because sometimes what I found is that your eyelashes can kind of poke yourself in the eye. When you're applying mascara, it kind of has the effect of, bleeding down under here where you don't want it to be, and then you get the raccoon eyes. So doing this on your eyelashes before you put the mascara on really helps keep the eyelashes lifted up so that the mascara is not touching any part of your face, especially if you have sunken eyelids, where the eyelashes are even closer to your eyelids, making it really hard. And then one of the biggest game changers for me, for the longest time I used foundation brushes, and this was kind of my go-to. You just kind of use it to apply the foundation regularly, but recently, within like the past 6 months, I have been using these sponges, and these sponges are really cool because they help blot up the extra and then distribute it evenly, and it keeps it from getting that smeary looking appearance when you use a brush. If you ever use foundation fairly often, you probably know what I'm referring to, that smeary looking. When you get that greasy look, this actually really helps that because it soaks up any of the extra foundation while distributing it evenly around the skin. And so, personally, after using the sponges to apply the foundation, I almost never even use the brushes for the foundation. That said, I still use brushes quite a lot. I use this big poofy one, and this is for the using for the highlights as well as the finishing powder. So once you put on all of your foundation, one of the things that you can do to help get rid of that like greasy, oily looking appearance where it's kind of shiny if you look at it in the light, is you use a finishing powder, which usually looks like this, and you just apply it and then just kind of dust off the extra, and that really helps take away that shiny look, so your face doesn't look like it's reflecting the sun and everywhere else. So that's what I enjoy. And then usually after that, I'll apply a bronzer, a little bit of bronzer on the side to get that contouring effect, which is why I use, where did it go? Use one of these. It's like the short one, and you just kind of go like this, and then you can blend it this way. So another thing you always want to do is that anytime you're using any kind of powder or blush or foundation, you always want to make sure that you're blending it in as much as possible so that you're not getting it to where it just looks like a blotch. blending is always better. Even if it makes it look like it's less prominent, it's better to have it look prominent than to have, like, for example, like a circle that's just red of blush. Humans don't naturally have circles on their face or lines on their face. It's usually blended in, so it's better to blend it in, even if it takes away some of the contouring or blushing effect, because you want it to look as natural as possible. And so after that, I use the blush, which I have a different brush that's dedicated just to that, and you just and just smear it in. You don't want to brush too hard because you don't want to undo the foundation. You just kind of want to dust it across so you get a light breezing effect. And usually it depends on how I'm doing it that day, but typically I'll always do my mascara before I do any of my foundation, just because if you do the foundation and then you do the mascara, just in case the mascara happens to get on any part of your eye, it's going to be so much easier to wipe that off and cover it up with foundation than it is to have to wipe off the foundation and the mascara and then reapply all of the makeup over it. So I would really recommend doing the mascara first before any other thing, because you don't want to get those raccoon eyes. That's one of the things that I learned very early on in my transition when I first started putting on makeup, is no raccoon eyes. Alternatively, you could also add a little bit of eyeliner, get a little extra definition, and then I like to do the wings sometimes, just like a little woof. Again, just be careful with that because you don't want to get the raccoon eyes, because you're only one hot day away from or one really humid day, or just if you cry, which I do all the time, I cry all the time, then yeah, you're gonna get the raccoon eyes. So unless you're using an absolute waterproof mascara and eyeliner, which takes forever to get off at the end of the day because it's just kind of like stuccoed, then you really want to avoid those raccoon eyes. And then I finish it up with a highlighter, and then I used to work at a cosmetology place for a little bit, so I learned a little bit myself, but you get like these really cool eyeshadow palettes, and it gives you all these different varieties and moods and different settings. So like if you're going out to dinner and you wanted to set the tone a little more like like mellow and like nighttime-ish, then you could go with like some of these. If you wanted to be bright and colorful, you could do these, and there's millions and millions of different color palettes out there. They're all different and they all have different moods. Some are green, some are blue, some are red. It just really depends on how you feel like expressing yourself that day. And yeah, so really enjoy those sponges. Those sponges definitely took it up a notch for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you can get away with it, probably don't do your makeup every single day, because you want to give your skin some breathing room in between so that it actually has time to like refresh, and you don't want to clog it up, because then you can get into things like you get acne, and you just don't want to deal with that, especially being trans. Especially if you're watching this and you're trans and you're early on in your transition, facial hair can really be a detriment, because you're having to shave and eventually get laser hair removal, but in the time being you're shaving, and the razor, it's damaging your skin on a microscopic level, and then your skin gets dried out, and it's just, and yeah, so you really want to take as best care of your skin as possible, really throughout all levels of your either transition, or if you're just a cisgender woman watching this, or even a cisgender man. Men can do makeup too. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed that. That's kind of like a little peek into just how I do my makeup. It's nothing like super extravagant. It's just kind of what I found kind of gets the job done, and that's good enough for me, you know. With that said, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. And if you have any recommendations for future videos, please leave a respectful message down below in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys. It really does help keep me motivated to make better videos and increase the quality of those videos. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and goodbye.